Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to show you how to make a flan dessert with just sugar, milk, and eggs.
Yay!
And a little bit of vanilla. And beside me as always is my assistant and co-host, KittyCat. Say hi, KittyCat. And also beside me as always is Admiral Bell. Say hi, Admiral Bell. That's a very good imitation of Admiral Bell. Okay, first of all, I need a recipe. I'll put this recipe at the bottom in the description if you want it. But I'm gonna change it lightly because I'm trying to cut back on sugar.
Magnet's on a diet.
Yeah, that's right. For the custard, I can't really cut back on that. It would taste weird if I cut back on that. But I can cut back on the caramel, okay? Hey, Admiral Bell, where are you going? You stay here and help out. This is not the most hygienic cooking condition, but Admiral Bell's so pretty, I cannot help it. Look at that, look at that. He looks like a flan. Am I right? Yeah. Look, you see here's the milky part, and this is the caramel part. For the custard, it's very simple. 4 large eggs, half a cup of granulated sugar, 2 cups of milk, and a little bit of vanilla, or anything that sort of tastes like vanilla, and a pinch of salt. As for the caramel, so I have 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar in the skillet. I'm going to add just a little bit of water, probably about 2 tablespoons worth, enough to like fully wet down the sugar. Okay. Alright, that's good enough. And we'll take this over to the range. This is the 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar combined with about 2 tablespoons of water. And you're just having it on medium heat. Just be patient and let it turn brown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this to turn into a nice dark mahogany. Take it off the heat. I'll be adding a little bit of water to it, about equal measure, probably another 2 tablespoons. You have to be very careful when you add water to hot caramel. It tends to pop. So take this over to the sink, and I recommend you wear an oven mitt. You don't want to get any of this hot sugar on your skin. It's going to burn. Okay, it's coming along nicely. Okay, look, caramel's starting to turn color now. You don't want to be mixing this when it's in the pan. Color's nice amber. Very nice. Almost there. There. I think that's good enough. Take it off the heat. At this point, you can dish this directly into the baking bowl or into your baking vessel, and that will work. But what's going to happen is that you always end up with a hard layer of caramel under the bowl once you decant it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is take it out, take it over to the sink. Again, be very, very careful with this step. Okay? And add a little bit of water. Yeah. Okay, very nice. And I think that's a little bit more. So just enough to like liquefy it a little bit. Do this in the sink again. And now pour it in. There we go. Very nice dark caramel. I like mine a little bit smoky. I think it adds more flavor. You can use a ramekin. I'm just using this bowl because I'm going to steam it. I don't want a lot of cleaning up, and I don't want to use my oven because whenever I do the steaming, it tends to get condensation everywhere, and I don't want to clean it up. So I'm going to do it the easy way and just use a porcelain bowl and just swirl it around. Make sure that the caramel is evenly distributed, and just leave that for now. What are you doing, kitty cat?
Candy cane.
Where did you get that from?
from the leftovers caramel from the pan.
How does it taste?
Smoky.
Yeah, you like it?
Mm-hmm.
Brush your teeth afterwards, okay? And don't give any to the Admiral. He's a naughty boy. Half a cup of sugar. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. A little pinch of salt. 2 cups of milk. And I'm going to use a whisk attachment. If you have a hand whisk, that will work also. This recipe does not call for a lot of mixing. Although you want to mix everything thoroughly. This is without the eggs. I just want to make sure the milk, the sugar is combined adequately. Make sure you don't get any shells in here, although it doesn't matter because we're going to strain this a couple of times. I'm just going to break all 4 eggs in. Alright, let me put this thing down again. I'm going to take my whisk off and I'm going to break. Huh? You want to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Break up. Make sure you break up all the eggs. Alright, KittyCat has done a good job of breaking up the eggs. All the way up. Turn it. Yeah, good. Elevate. Start slow and go faster. Okay, faster. 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 Faster.
That's flattering.
That's why you gotta start it slow. And even faster. Make sure you combine everything well. Okay, the next step is very important, and what you want to do is to strain it. I've already strained it once, and this is twice. What that does is that it helps you to get rid of all the bubbles and also all the bits of egg that doesn't completely dissolve, and you have a much smoother custard. Alright, so the next step is to place this in the ramekin, or in our case, I have my bowl ready, my ceramic bowl ready, and you see how the caramel has set a little bit, even though I added some additional water so that it's not as hard. Okay, that's perfect. Just pour it in gently. Try not to disturb it too much. And alright, that's your flan. Finally, I'm going to get a piece of foil paper since we'll be steaming it, and just seal it all the way along the edges. And you do this so that you don't get water condensation dripping into your flan. I'll be steaming it. I like this because I can control the temperature more easily. It's just faster, better cleanup for me. You can do this in the oven also. If you're going to do it in the oven, what you want to do is place your ramekin open, leave them open without the foil paper, into a water bath. So you can put like a cooking tray underneath them, fill it up about a third of the way, like about a half an inch or an inch with water, and just put the ramekin sitting in the bath. What this step does is you want the temperature to normalize and not be too harsh. Okay, you don't want this to be cooking on high heat. For the oven, you will want to bake it at 320 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 to 55 minutes. So it's pretty gentle heat, pretty low heat. For steaming, I fill the bottom of the pan with cold water. And what I actually like to do is I don't want to preheat the water. The entire point of this step is to very gently cook it so that there's no bubbles. You don't want bubbles. Unlike baking, where you want a lot of bubbles so that the bread rises. When you're cooking a flan, you don't want any bubbles at all. So, there you go. And I'm just going to put this on low to medium heat and steam it for about 25 to 30 minutes. So we're starting with cold water. I have it on low to medium heat. And I'm very paranoid with this step. You'll notice I have the pot lid slightly, just to leave a tiny little gap. So even though you're steaming it, there's a difference. You can steam it on low heat or high heat steam. You don't want it on high heat steam. And you want the temperature to come up gradually to a boil. because that gets rid of all the little bubbles. Again, the bubble is your dreaded enemy when it comes to making flan. This might take slightly longer, but you'll have better result at the end. Just let the temperature go up slowly. Keep it even and consistent. Use a thick pan. Do not use a thin wall aluminum pan. I've tried that in the past. What happens is that you have very, very high heat, and as a result, you have a lot of bubbles. So I've just taken it off the steamer. It's been about 25 minutes, and I find usually after 20 minutes, it's pretty much done. I'm gonna take the foil off. And look at that. Beautiful, perfect custard. If you want to test to see if it's fully cooked or not, you can take a chopstick, any kind of wooden stick, and poke it in the middle. And when you take it out, there should be no milky custard attached to it. So this is pretty good. And it's pretty much done. At this point, you want to let the custard rest. I'm gonna put the cover back on and leave it outside until it cools down. And then I'm going to transfer it to the refrigerator. And I want to refrigerate it for a minimum of 4 hours. Ideally, you want to refrigerate it overnight. It's been 4 hours in the refrigerator, and the family, especially KittyCat, cannot wait any longer. Yay. So, here we have it. We're going to decant it onto the large plate. But first, what you have to do is get a sharp knife and run it around the edge. We use a little bit of butter to butter down the bowl before we even put the caramel in it. But just do this anyway, and then it'll come out easier. All right. Take your plate, put it over it, and ready, reverse. And I think ours just dropped, but if it doesn't, what you do is you hold down on this, and you give it a little shake, a little wiggle, and you can feel it. It's jiggly. So that means it's out. You want to center it. Oh, look at that caramel come out. And voila. So the trick is to heat it very, very slowly. Don't start with boiling water. Start with cold water on low heat. We're gonna cut this. And KittyCat, when you bring like a little plate. Wow. Hey, Mama Cat. Mama Cat would complain the last time I made it because there was too many bubbles. So I had to improve my technique.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna charge each person $5 per slice. What do you think? Do you think I can sell it?
Maybe.
Bebe wants some too, but he cannot have any sweet. So now I'm gonna lift this out and I'm gonna show you what a perfect flan looks like. How is it, KittyCat?
Delicious.
Delicious? Very smooth? Mm-hmm. You have a beautiful caramel on top, nice mahogany color, and perfect flan custard with no bubbles. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, bon appetit, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And we'll see you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.